Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are taking a massive leap into the digital world. We're going to transform what often feels like dry, complicated technical jargon into a highly actionable daily cheat sheet that will absolutely turbocharge your productivity. If you want to take control of your machine and stop wasting time with endless clicking, you are in the exact right place. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, hardware and storage decoded. Then, navigating networks and the web. Third, software and document mastery. Fourth, advanced Windows system tricks. And finally, we'll wrap up with emerging tech explained. Section 1, hardware and storage decoded. We gotta start right at the physical foundation. Before we can command our machines to actually work faster, we really need to decode that alphabet soup of parts sitting inside your computer case. First up, the CPU, or Central Processing Unit. Think of it as the absolute core brain of your computer. Just like your human brain processes every single thought and reflex, the CPU calculates every action your machine takes. Literally, everything flows right through here. All right, let's fly through a few more essential components. We've got the GPU, the graphics processing unit, handling your visuals, but let's pause on RAM, random access memory. Think of RAM like your actual physical desk space. When you're working, you spread your papers out so you can grab them instantly, right? But when you run out of desk space, well, things slow down and get super cluttered. That is exactly what RAM does for your active digital tasks. We also have ROM for read-only memory, USB, universal serial bus for connecting all your gear, the BIOS system which kicks off your initial startup, and of course, your LCD and LED displays lighting up your screen. Now, what's really interesting here is contrasting the two main ways computers store your files when the power actually turns off. On one hand, you have the HDD, or hard disk drive. This is traditional mechanical storage. It literally has physical spinning platters inside. On the other hand, you've got the SSD, the solid-state drive. This is modern flash storage, absolutely no moving parts. Because of that, it reads and writes your data vastly faster than those old mechanical drives. It's a total game changer. So how do we actually command all this powerful hardware efficiently? Simple. We take our hands off the mouse, relying on foundational keyboard shortcuts accelerates your routine tasks incredibly. Just hit Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste, Control-X to cut, and Control-A to select everything on your screen in a flash. Oh, and Alt-Tab? That is the ultimate way to quickly switch between your active apps without ever dragging a cursor across the screen. Let's see how this builds into pure workflow magic. These two opposing commands are absolute lifesavers. Control-Z undoes your previous action. I mean, we've all been there, right? You accidentally delete a massive paragraph and completely panic. Well, Control-Z instantly fixes that mistake. But what if you went too far back? That's where Control-Y comes in. It instantly redoes the undone action, bringing your work right back to life. And please, whatever you do, do not ignore that Windows key sitting at the bottom of your keyboard. These are fantastic quick security and navigation hacks. Windows D instantly hides all your open windows and shows your desktop. Windows L immediately locks your computer, which is absolutely perfect for when you need to step away from your desk securely. And Windows E, that pops open your File Explorer so you can quickly access your storage without clicking through a dozen menus. All right, Section 2, navigating networks and the web. That pretty much covers our local machine, but computers aren't islands anymore, so let's pivot outward and explore how our setups connect to the broader world. To really understand the internet, we have to look at the invisible infrastructure that allows computers to talk to each other. These acronyms are literally everywhere. Your LAN is your local area network. That's just the small group of devices in your house or office. WAN is the wide area network, connecting systems across massive geographical distances. Then we've got VPNs, or virtual private networks, keeping your data tunnel totally secure. IP, or Internet Protocol, is essentially your digital mailing address. And Wi-Fi, wireless fidelity, is that invisible radio wave letting you browse from the couch. When you actually open a browser, you are interacting with these foundational web terms. Your URL is the Uniform Resource Locator. It's the exact web address you type into the bar. And that address lives on the www, the World Wide Web. Your DNS, the domain name system, acts quietly behind the scenes. It's kind of like the internet's phone book, translating those web names into IP addresses. And of course, none of this happens without your ISP, your internet service provider, physically connecting your house to the global web. So, now that you speak the language of the web, are you ready to navigate it faster? Let's take all that theory and put it right into your fingertips with some major browser productivity hacks. Did you know you can almost entirely control Chrome, Edge, or Firefox without even touching a mouse? Let's rapid fire through these. Control-T pops open a new tab. Done with the page? Control-W closes the current tab instantly. Need to find where you were yesterday? Control-H opens your browser history. Waiting on a file? Control-J opens your downloads. Looking for a specific statistic or word? Control-F lets you find text on the page instantly. And if a web page freezes up on you, Control-R refreshes it immediately. These are massive time savers, guys. Okay, but let's slow down for just a second to highlight this specific one. Control plus Shift plus T. I'm telling you, this is pure magic. This is your absolute best friend when you accidentally click the X and close a critically important web page. Hit this combination and it instantly reopens that last closed tab exactly where you left off. No more panic. Section 3, Software and Document Mastery. All right, let's keep this momentum going. We've built the hardware, we've connected it to the world, and now it's time to step inside your digital workspace. We're turning that connection into actual creation. Before you open a single app, you're interacting with your OS, or operating system. So the crucial point here is that the OS is the master software. It's the core platform that manages all that physical hardware we talked about earlier and basically runs everything else you want to use. Inside that operating system, you're going to encounter a whole new set of acronyms. Let's demystify the formats, protocols, and interfaces you interact with every single day. You have web languages like HTML, which structures web pages, and transfer protocols like HTTP and its highly secure version, HTTPS. You've got document formats like PDF, which stands for Portable Document Format, meaning it looks exactly the same on every single screen. If you work with databases, you use SQL, the structured query language. Different apps talk to each other using an API, or Application Programming Interface. And the visual way you click around your screen with all those icons and windows, that's the GUI, the Graphical User Interface. Now, when you're actively working in that graphical interface, particularly in Word or text editors, these shortcuts are your absolute required toolkit. Instead of endlessly hunting through menus, just use Control-B to bold, Control-I to italicize, and Control-U to underline text. And please use Control-S constantly to save your documents. When it's finally ready, Control-P prints it out, and Control-N instantly opens a brand new blank document so you can start your next project. If you work with massive reports or super long documents, you have got to stop endlessly scrolling. Contrast these two commands as your ultimate navigation tools. Control plus Home snaps your view instantly to the very start of the document. Meanwhile, Control plus End shoots you straight to the very bottom. It is literally the fastest way to instantly jump around huge files. Moving on to Section 4, Advanced Windows System Tricks. You've got the basics down, you're flying through the web, and you're mastering your documents. Now it's time to unlock true power user status with some advanced system commands. This brilliantly illustrates how just a few specific keystrokes can completely bypass those frustrating multi-step menu clicks. Control-Shift-S jumps you straight into the task manager to deal with any frozen apps. Windows I snaps open your system settings. Windows R pulls up the Run dialog. Need a screenshot right this second? Windows Shift-S pulls up the snipping tool instantly. Windows V is a total hidden gem. It opens your clipboard history so you can see and paste things you copied hours ago. And finally, Alt F4 forcefully closes whatever active window you're currently in. And finally, Section 5, Emerging Tech Explained. We've mastered the present setup on your desk. Now, for the final stage of our explainer journey, we're looking forward. We need to decode the concepts shaping tomorrow's digital landscape. These are the forward-looking aspirational terms you are going to see absolutely everywhere. AI stands for artificial intelligence, machines simulating human intelligence and problem solving. Underneath that massive umbrella is ML, or machine learning, where systems are designed to automatically learn and improve from data over time. Then we have entirely new ways of experiencing the digital world. VR, or virtual reality, which fully immerses you in a generated digital space, and AR, augmented reality, which takes digital elements and seamlessly overlays them onto the real, physical world you see through your lens. Wow, we have covered incredible ground today. From the physical RAM in your machine, to navigating the web, mastering documents, and even peeking at the AI of the future. All of this was driven by the knowledge and shortcuts that literally put time back in your day. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Which shortcut or concept will you use to upgrade your workflow today? I challenge you to pick just one from this cheat sheet and apply it right now. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Stay focused, stay curious, and I'll see you next time.